At one point in Earth's history, blockbusters inhabited every continent on the planet except Antarctica. At their peak, the blockbuster population was over 9,000, and their bright blue and yellow plumage was a common sight in cities around the world. The brand first arose in Texas through the unlikely hybridization of a data company with a video store. Its distinctive coloration appeared almost immediately and made it an eye-catching sight in its native habitat. But it was its knack for adaptability that set it apart from the competition. Blockbuster wasn't the first video store. By the time it appeared in the fossil record, the video rental industry was already a crowded ecosystem. But with a large inventory of videos and the ability to stock its shelves with titles that most appealed to the humans of the area, its main source of prey, Blockbuster could tailor itself to almost any retail environment. This amazing adaptability allowed blockbusters to spread out from Texas and across the North American continent. In these new environs, Blockbuster exhibited novel behaviors for a video rental store. Early on, it was observed stocking video games, allowing Blockbuster to attract a whole new species of customer. Its family-friendly appearance and its specialization in recent and popular releases soon put it at the apex of the video rental chain food chain. Before long, a new store was opening every 24 hours. It aggressively defended its territory, pushing out competitors. By 2004, over 9,000 Blockbusters populated the world, by far the most abundant and wide-ranging video rental store on the planet. But it would be all but extinct in 10 short years. Growing competition from DVD subscriptions and streaming services like Netflix decreased Blockbuster's customer base. A changing environment led to the loss of DVDs and other physical media that Blockbuster depended on for survival. Soon, their numbers began to plummet. In 2017, just 13 years after its peak, there were only 7 known Blockbusters left in the United States. In 2019, there were only 2 specimens in the entire world, one in Perth, Australia, and one in Bend, Oregon. The Blockbuster in Perth closed in March of 2019, leaving only one Blockbuster behind. The last known member of a species is called an endling. When it goes, the species is extinct. But being alone, the last of its kind, the organism has no mate to reproduce with. Extinction is inevitable. It's only a matter of time. The species is doomed. Probably the most famous endling is Lonesome George. He was a Pinta Island tortoise, and he was the last of his kind. Giant tortoises used to inhabit every continent on Earth, except Antarctica. George's brand of tortoise heralded from the Galapagos Islands, a veritable giant tortoise mecca. Every island in the chain had its own unique species of giant tortoise, each tortoise tailored to its own niche market. George's species operated entirely out of the Pinta Island, hence the name. Unfortunately, the Galapagos Islands were a popular layover for whalers and buccaneers who had a taste for turtle meat. Tortoises could be kept in the hold of a ship for many months without food or water. In a time long before refrigeration, tortoise meat came in its own non-perishable container. And so, over the centuries, ravenous sailors systematically depleted the tiny island of Pinta of its tortoise population. But whaling, piracy, and other high seas hijinks eventually subsided. The tortoises were left to live in peace once again. For a time, anyway. In the 50s, goats arrived to the island and commenced eating everything that was edible, leaving nothing for the tortoises. Their ecosystem shot and their numbers in decline. The population of tortoises dwindled until there was only one left. He became known as Lonesome George. Conservationists scoured the islands and zoos of the world looking for another Pinta Island tortoise, but none were found. A $10,000 reward was offered to anyone who could find George a suitable mate, but George remained alone. There were several attempts to get George to mate with other closely related tortoises. Although eggs were produced, none were viable. George lived as an endling for over 40 years, until 2012, when he died, making the extinction of his species official. 1 year later, Blockbuster announced plans to close all of its remaining stores. As of the publication of this video, one last Blockbuster still operates out of Bend, Oregon, even though Blockbuster, the brand, is more or less extinct. But rental of physical videos is pretty much dead too. The world these stores once dominated is mostly gone, and it is unlikely to return. Video rental stores might as well be functionally extinct. It is only a matter of time until they are all gone. But the extinction of George's species isn't so final. A clutch of baby tortoises were found on a neighboring island. They were unlike any tortoises ever seen before. These juveniles were hybrids, and they appeared to carry the mitochondrial DNA of the Pinta Island tortoise. This suggests that a Pinta Island tortoise might still be out there somewhere. Even if the parent of these hybrids is no longer living, enough of the Pinta Island tortoise genome remains in circulation that a specimen could conceivably be resurrected through selective breeding. It might take a century or two, but it is well within the realm of possibility. Unlike video rental, in life, there is never a penalty for an overdue return. Special thanks to our Patreon patrons. Without you, the good stuff just wouldn't happen. So if you like what we do here, go on over to patreon.com/thegoodstuff and become a supporter. Otherwise, you can like and subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out, and I'll be back in a couple weeks with a new video. Thanks for watching.